So Romantic Saga 2, the remake the trailers came out, so I'm just gonna go through it and talk about the differences in the game and like what's been updated, what's been changed. Because looking through it, it still seems very similar to the old one.
There was a time when the seven heroes embodied that moniker.
So this is probably when the series
They rose to action
Leon
whenever fiends would
and
set upon us.
explains what's going on in the world.
However, over time, their power continued to grow unchecked. And sure enough, return they did.
So looking at Avalon, I believe in the version we have right now, there should be water here, and then act as moat for around the castle, and then you'd go through the bridge and you reach the castle, and then it's more, I guess, RPG Maker-ish than what we have here. I think compared to the original too, because the original had a slightly different layout, especially when you have to jump on the roof, and I don't know which one's gonna be the one where you get to the roof, but yeah.
I shan't betray their trust.
And then this area is like Aqua. I don't remember like Aqua.
I vow to
Magic
protect.
Street. This is where you have to pass through to get the Moo people.
The people of Varen with my very life.
Avalon. So the important thing is to look at the map, the mini map. You can see there's the crown in the mini map, and that's where the castle seat's gonna be, where you do the delegation, or you like choose what you're gonna like build and spend your like money on. And then to the right there, it looks, I'm assuming this is gonna be a save point, because if you look in another trailer, or yeah, you'll see there's this blue item here, and it looks to be like a save book. So that's, you probably won't have the ability to save anywhere you want anymore, because if you go to the blog, let's see, or not the blog, you go to the Steam page, you can look at the menu and you can see the attributes, equipment, text and such, and then there doesn't seem to be any option to save wherever you want. It may probably be in the settings menu, but it probably won't, thus, you know, making it harder in general, just because you can't save scum anymore. So if you die or pass out, you'll lose your emperor and your whole team probably, and then it's more hardcore than what we have.
The people yearn for a strong country and a brave emperor to lead them.
And then this is the Thomas and sibling scenes, probably right after escaping with Thomas, if you choose to catch Seifried.
I believe that everyone has their rightful place.
Your hands are absolutely filthy.
The stratagems I craft for the Empire.
And Balkan
This
airship.
power, these memories of countless battles. I would.
So the options for Emperor has increased from 4 to what seems to be 6, which is pretty nice. So you have more options. It's always random, I believe, so it gives you more just a better selection, which is pretty nice, and you won't have to like save scum to get a character that you want, to get the formation that you want. But apparently in the blog you could just sack your emperor, force them to abdicate, and you could choose whoever you want, which is, so this doesn't matter much, but it's still nice to have.
Devote my life to the good of Avalon, so that the destiny of our imperial forebears may one day be fulfilled.
So having the ability to attack the enemy and getting a surprise attack, which increases their HP slightly, is pretty nice. And I think all the SaGa games I've played, you I don't think you've had this before. Like last Remnant, you have the ability to chain and get a preemptive strike, but that's about it.
Feel the.
And looking at the combat or screen, so the timeline system looks to be, so it's just gonna go in order, right? So it's gonna show you the next turn and then the current turn, and seeing here, Bear's going first, and after that the two enemies can follow after. So it's not gonna follow the Emerald Beyond or Scarlet Grace battle system where you chain and then perform united attack and such, because the overdrive is going to be what's used for united attacks.
Hey! Stand still!
That's it!
Yeah, see, it's going in order.
Now!
Everyone, form ranks!
Also, what's really important to note is I don't think the formations really changed much. I didn't really change my formation, but if you slowly move it back to Rapid Stream, which is the most broken formation, you'll see that it still has the attacks first, but your defense is decreased. And this is probably maybe still the most broken formation you can get. I used this to cheat the last boss, so it's very, very it's very strong. And then if the game hasn't changed it much, then that means it'll probably still stay a top tier formation that you could get really early on if you know what you're doing.
Form ranks!
You got a timeline system. You notice how after he selects and then it moves, it pushes the character to this area where it'll be their time to act. Oh, and then going through the characters, starting, it shows a lot of the characters but not all of them. So you have Gerard and then Bear and then Emerald, so that's gonna be the mage, fire mage, and then Hector, mercenary, and then Therese, which is your archer, female archer.
No!
I don't remember the Diamond Dust spell, but then I mainly just spam life water and elixir most of the time. I just spam the first tier magic just so I could get the EXP for it. Yeah, and now it shows Thetis, which is I believe the Nereid, and Eric, which is, I don't remember what they're called. I just call them the Moomins. But then the cattle rank people, and then Bear, your tank at the beginning, and then George, the male crusader, and Ares, your water mage, well, your wind mage. I believe I usually pick him up at the very. You choose between him or Emerald at the start of the game. I always pick them because life water is pretty nice.
Form ranks!
The united attacks, it uses up the overdrive bar, and then it seems, I'm not sure how it's going to be done, but if you look at it, it changed the first two people, so it's a 2 chain, so it's going to only, maybe you can increase it later, but you're just going to be able to chain 2 people to go one after another, I guess, and just do an upgraded damage.
On my honor! There!
And this is the same where you could recruit the Vagabond, or Cat and Sparrow. So this is gonna be on the roof, and then selections are probably still gonna be the same. But then it's more playful, it seems, with the interaction compared to what it was for the actual game. I saw it as more seductive with Cat, for my interpretation for the game we have right now.
Rough and tumble!
This is the Monk,
Ready for the battles
and then this is Moman,
to come!
Away with you!
and this is Female Hunter,
I must fulfill
and this is the Female Crusader,
this sacred duty.
and then this is the Armed Mercenary, and it has you have the options of what to do, which means if you know what to do, you could probably get them early and then get the really which means you get good
I
stuff.
look forward to working with you!
And then the Waterfall Blade, which it seems to still act the same as before. As you see, it only hit 2 of the 3 mobs, and I believe in the Japanese version, if I can find it, let's see.
性へと進化要素も加わ
Can't find it, but basically it's still a column attack. So that's why it doesn't hit it doesn't hit all the enemies. It only hits two because these are probably in the front and that's enemies in the back. So it's still really true or the same as what it was in the original game. So I don't think the arts have changed too much. You can see the SP and stuff, the battle points, the BP drops, but I don't remember how much they cost though.
Maker.
Yeah, so when you see it hit everybody, maybe they're all in the same row, but it looks like they aren't because these two seems to be in the same row, or two of them seems to be in the same row and one of them's in the back. So I'm assuming they're in the same row.
Rue your fate.
See ya! I think I finally understand now.
Yeah, a lot of characters. It doesn't show everything, but you get Salamander, which is not going to live in my run. And then female mercenary, tactician, armed merchant, and then female hunter.
Just as I thought.
And then you're going to get mage for hire, male, mercenary male, and then archer male, and then light infantry male, and then vagabond male.
Meet your maker!
Rue your
And then this is going to be Amazon because of the dress, I believe, because a lot of the pictures stay really true to the original design, because I believe every single character or palette swap has their own unique design for the SaGa games and the other SaGa games, or the mobile games and the card games and such. And compared to Ares from earlier, Sagittarius, which is the next mage after Ares, I believe he changed to have silver hair or white hair, and I believe it's shorter compared to the previous one.
fate.
Basma, I don't remember where she is. I think she's probably female nomad.
See!
And Kat, the female vagabond, and Fatima again, Henry, Eric, and then this is the nomad.
Yeah. I think I finally understand now. When my father sacrificed himself,
And then
it was more than a mere succession of
all
power.
of a sudden,
He knew that his spirit itself would continue to
form.
live on
I don't think they show
in
any
me.
second form, so it doesn't spoil anything. No. Well, it spoils who they are, but it didn't spoil some other stuff, which I just spoiled. But yeah, it didn't really change much. Well, there is a difference between the trailers, basically just numbers and such. But yeah, Ari's here with longer hair, see, and then James, Bear, and then Therese, and then you could choose.
皇帝を継承しながら数千年に及ぶ戦いが始まる。ロマンス
But yeah, it looks very similar to the original game, but it's updated and just showcase stuff. But what's really important to note is that the skill level is different, because in the original game, or the game we have now, we have swords, which makes up one-hand swords and two-hand swords, and then we have axes and cudgels, which took the smashing or the crushing or the blunt, basically, weapons. So, and spears and foils were pierce attacks, which also shared one. And then, but now they've all been split. So this would probably change the meta a decent amount about which character is good or whatnot. Especially if they haven't updated the weapons. They should update the weapons, but I always found axes to be better than cudgels, and now if you're stuck with cudgels and you won't be able to use axes. So yeah, where in the original you could just swap between the two, you could learn the arts or the skills from axes, and then for someone who's not good with axes but has cudgel sparkless, you could just equip them to axe and you could just transfer the skills over, which is pretty nice. I think that's what I did with the female crusader and my final boss team. But yeah, they've been split now, so you have more skills to more weapons to master, or so characters gonna be more unique aside from their spark list. But this might make some characters a lot worse off, especially the cudgels, because I don't remember cudgels being good outside of Remake in Saga 3's healing cudgel, the staff of vivacity or whatever. And then although it only shows 5 magic, there is a 6 because they do talk about how there's umbrology. Yeah, umbrology. So there's a 6, which means you can learn it, and then you will probably have to sacrifice them to get the spellbook. But then we don't know, because I don't know if it doesn't show Kunoichi or Diviner, and Diviner was the one with the dark magic, the innate dark magic, but I think they didn't learn any other type of magic. I don't remember Rose though, so I don't know I don't remember what class this will be yet. I'll have to look up the wiki again. But yeah, and then there's Beaver. That's usually the female thief character that you get, because you don't really get to use cat in them. And after you get them, and then it's gonna be a generational shift, and then you're stuck with the actual people you're gonna be using. So Sophia, Amethyst, Beaver, Fritz, etc. And the evasion's back, which means you'll want to learn the evasion skill for a certain boss, else you're gonna get game overed if you didn't collect the ring from a certain area early on. Yeah, it shows. Yeah, good. I believe one of the images showed that you can equip more than one weapon, because there's sword attack, double cut, stun slash, and then I believe when it shows James had a spear equipped for a spear attack, which costs 0. Important to take note, double cut. So with the bulb, it's going to be able to learn something, and double cut in the original, it was only learned by Leon, and you had to unlearn it. I think you had to like spark it, and then you could be able to transfer it to other people. But it's gonna be but hopefully it just transfers immediately, so you can just pass it to everyone else. Because if it's gonna be able to like proc something else, if you wanna use a different lord, or you don't proc the skill, you don't spark or glimmer the skill needed with Gerard in the start. And stun slash, I think that just knee split, but then it's been changed to stun slash probably. I don't remember, but I don't remember stun slash from the original. Then let's see. Yeah, I don't know who Rose is, because that she doesn't look like the female mage for hire, because I don't remember them wearing a hat, and all of their arts, most of them look really old. So I don't know who she is yet. But yeah, and then the United Attacks increases defense and boosts their ability skill, and then you still get your formations from changing your emperor. So I guess with the ability to abdicate your throne, you could just abdicate in like mad and cycle through all of the characters who have formation before you move on. Yep, still freeform scenario, so if you don't Thomas in them, you want to go there pretty early or first and not forget about it. And then the Canal Fortress is still the same, but then it's not a lot better, because not a lot better, because in the original it just showed, so it's just so cat just place swords on the ground, and it'll tell you where to go to get the items and how to not encounter enemies. But it'll be nice to see the updated dungeon. It looks really nice, and the world, it's really cool that it shows the question marks of the areas you could go to, because you kind of just like go until you kind of figure out how to get there. So this will help a lot of newcomers, but then veterans will be fine. We already know the game and what to do. And I think this is quick teleport or whatever. You just go there, you can choose to go right to the throne or the training hall or the palace tavern. hopefully the Palace Tavern, because in the original you couldn't recruit everyone in town until I think you developed your castle enough, or your Avalon enough. So hopefully the Palace Tavern is just a place where you can just recruit everyone right away, so you don't have to go all the way south to the Nazir Strait and stuff, just to get like the Moomins or the cattle people, and or go to like the prairie savannah zone to get the nomads. That'll make it a really good quality of life if that's what it is. And training hall is just where you're gonna equip your skills and get your formations. So yeah, it's pretty good. Hopefully it's what it is, but yeah. It shows map is really well done. And it seems like it hasn't changed from the original, so just more detailed and yeah. Oh, and it showing the roads and stuff, which makes it pretty cool for those who are interested in that. And then the city development has been changed, so you don't just talk to an NPC and be like, yep, nope, upgrade and stuff. Now you get to choose what you get to upgrade, which is really nice, because in the original I think if you sat down and then they asked like, oh, you want to upgrade or we want to build like a magic school, and you say no, and it's like, okay, and then you don't get to do it for a decent while again. But now you can just choose specifically what to upgrade, so you can upgrade the tree, but that increases how much money you get. And then there's probably the university. They'll probably cut this and turn this into an area. And I don't know about these. What's interesting is you have to build a smithy. I guess it's gonna be a tutorial for it, just so it teaches people how to build your town. Because in the original it was always just there, and then you could start developing stuff really early on. But I think you don't really need to develop stuff anyways, because you could pick up some good stuff, but that's because the bonus dungeon and such. But I don't know if we're gonna have Coney Trees of Diviners, so I don't know if we're gonna get the bonus dungeon. But looking at the difficulty system, so hard is gonna be as difficult as the original game, which was pretty difficult, but I'm kinda sad that there's no harder mode, because for the veterans we already know that the game's like pretty difficult, but hopefully they follow the SaGa trends that they've been doing recently, which is like an Emerald Beyond, where you could trade in tickets to fight like a harder version, or in Minstrel Song where they got the upgraded Saruine, where you could trade in 10 fates, then you can be like, yep, I want to fight the harder version, and you can fight the even harder version of the hardest boss in the JRPG history. But yeah, casuals can be good for the casual crowd, the Final Fantasy crowd who struggle with non-linear games. And then looking at the options menu, so there's going to be Japanese and English, probably not in the Switch release, because the Switch, I don't know, it's not that strong, or it takes a lot of space, so it's probably just going to be a PC, because I believe Emerald Beyond just has Japanese and English voice acting on the PC. I'm not sure about if it's in the Switch, because I don't have the Switch version. But being able to change the soundtrack is pretty nice. And then yeah, just options. And you can change your difficulty level at any time. But yeah, and then I don't remember what year we start at, to be honest. So until year 1001, I'm not sure if that's good, because it's been a while since I played. But these will probably help people early on, especially the tax revenue, because you want to get the magic and the magic place in university really early on. And technique points is just pretty much universal EXP, so it hasn't changed much. It's just been pretty much updated with graphics, and yeah, with a little bit of a change in the combat system. But I think you still choose all your actions, or you don't choose all your actions, but it just goes order. Well, yeah, the battle system changed somewhat, but yeah, it hasn't changed too much. But it's been basically a lot of quality of life updates. A lot of the scenes show Gerard, but I don't know if you're gonna be able to keep him early on. Maybe in like a special new game plus mode. But yeah, it's looking really, really good. And then, yeah, the updates, yeah, just basically the old game, but it's been updated. Oh, here it is. So here's James, and you can see it's the great sword attack, so and a spear attack. So he's gonna be, that's what he's gonna be specialized in, or that's what he's probably gonna be starting with in his inventory. He didn't start with a spear in the original game, so I guess that's what's gonna differentiate him to the female light infantry. Scattered petals, I don't remember learning that, but yeah. Oh, also, what's really cool is they're taking a note from Octopath, and then when you look at the combats, yeah, the affinity system. I don't know what the affinity means, but it means something. But
Form ranks!
where it attacks, and then it shows the weakness. Yeah, it shows four. So this Dobby is weak to 4 attacks.
Enough!
Form ranks!
Not sure if it's in
On my honor! There!
trailer because
Battle
Forward to working with you.
because of the Japanese trailer.
どっちが大きく圧倒的皇帝戦いが始まる
Usually in SaGa, you just kind of you just figure it out what they're weak to, and then you just remember. But it's helpful for newer players, and it's good quality of life. Just so you don't have to memorize every single enemy species and what they're weak to, what they're strong to.
行動順が鍵を握るタイムライン制へと進化連携技など新要素も加わり
See, it'll pop up and it'll be like, yeah, you're weak. They're weak to fire. So, but then slime's just pretty much weak to all elements. So, and resistant to pretty much every physical attack. So yeah, so it's basically the old game with a lot of quality of life changes. Not much. Oh, water, yeah. So, I don't know.
領土をどのように広げていくのかどの順番でその後のストーリー
Yeah, the game hasn't been changed too much. It's just basically a 3D yeah, basically a 3D version of the original game is what I'm assuming right now. A lot of maps seems to have been updated because it is 3D now. So it's receiving the minstrel song treatment to a degree. A lot of the artworks look the same. Let's see, because if you compare these to the official artworks, it's not like Minstrel Song where they changed the character art completely. They really built upon what the original art originally was. Except, I think with only slight differences, like Sparrow having green highlights. But yeah, there's not much change about it, but a 3D version is always nice. And of course, the town stuff, well, the dungeon stuff is going to be different, so it's going to feel less, I guess, basic or RPG Maker, and more like an actual game, like the Last Remnant and such.
バトルでは新たな技を得得する
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, but interesting to take note. For some reason, I don't know what these shield things are. I think it's probably, yeah, I don't know what they are. Probably because usually Beer has a shield, so I don't know what this icon is. That's next to Emerald and Gerard's head, but yeah. But take note, Emerald has 17 HP. So she'll be taken out with one hit. I don't remember her having that low of an HP
ひらめきや
ever.
さまざまな効果を
That's pretty much an analysis of what's basically been changed from the original to this version of the game, which isn't too much, but it's mainly just quality of life updates. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for staying here, listening to me blabble on. Yeah, goodbye.